Ravi Shastri has been making a lot of comments when it comes to the IPL, when it comes to the future of cricket, when it comes to bilateral cricket. All these kind of statements have often gotten the cricketing world talking. Recently, he had made a statement about the selection criteria, and it was there that he dropped a major bombshell. But now, Ravi Shastri has dropped yet another very blunt point on the status of international cricket in the next coming years. We were all wondering, right, that the proliferation of T20 leagues, how is it going to impact cricket? Well, Ravi Shastri has given his blunt and honest assessment of it, and it makes you ponder whether cricket will go the way of the Premier League football that is happening all over the globe. Because in an interaction with ESPN Cricinfo, Ravi Shastri pointed out that what will happen to the status of bilateral cricket with the proliferation of T20 leagues that are going around. He made one very important comment. He said, bilateral cricket will suffer. With the T20 leagues spreading around the world, it's going to go the football way. What we had predicted about 5 to 6 years ago, that was the proliferation of so many leagues. How will the cricket bilateral series stand up to the test of time? This is the answer. Teams will assemble before the World Cup. One of the faculties of the game will suffer. I think it will be 50 over cricket. With so much of T20 cricket happening and with Test cricket still considered sacrosanct, what will be the one major, you may say, format that might suffer? It is the ODI format. Because unfortunately, when you look at it, ODIs are gaining less and less relevance despite the World Cup Super League still happening. However, that has totally not ensured that T20 cricket has dimmed in its dominance. In fact, it's increased. Test cricket is the paramount format that everyone agrees. But 50 over cricket, if you look at Shastri's words, it might prove to be true. Because there are windows for several leagues that are there in the world. And if you have a look at the windows, you will wonder, where can you squeeze in international cricket? Especially when you look at ODI bilateral series. Remember, Ravi Shastri has been really speaking about bilateral series which are meaningless. He's often stated, recently in March, Ravi Shastri has said that time has come for ODI to become 40 over game. Ravi Shastri also big format change in World Cup year. It was in this article that Ravi Shastri pointed out that let the 50 over cricket is now a novelty. Let it change to 40 over games. That is a call that maybe ODI cricket might suffer. But in the same month, in a different publication that he said, the volume of cricket has increased. Rest period is getting decreased. This is where establishment and players have to sit across the table. They need to be told that you need that much break and give them so much game to play. That is the problem now. Where will you take rest? What do you prioritize? This is the major concern when you look at ODI cricket. T20 leagues, as I have mentioned in this, there is such a saturation of T20 cricket at this point in time that one wonders, where can players be fit and available? Going at the Trent Bolt way, looking at the Andre Russell way, Sunil Narine way, they have all refused central contracts. Because of the central contracts now, they have become T20 guns for hire. Bolt only plays in franchisee cricket, but he'll be available for New Zealand whenever the time comes. Andre Russell and Sunil Narine will not even be available for that because they have outrightly rejected a West Indies central contract. And the contract systems in West Indies and New Zealand are significantly different. Now, will bilateral cricket suffer? If you look at the window that each league has got, I mean, I've highlighted the major leagues, say like the IPL, BBL, Vitality Blast, CPL, ILT20, SA20, all these major leagues that have come up. What is the window for each? And if you look at it very closely, Ravi Shastri has a point, because as we all know, the IPL window is from March to May. But next year onwards, or maybe from 2025 onwards, it could extend to June because they'll be playing more games. From 74, the number might increase to 94. So that is why from March to June, 3 full months, you are going to see massive T20 action in India that will dominate the landscape. But is IPL just the only thing? Because IPL from March to May now, it's already eating up 3 months of your calendar, 2 months of your calendar. But in 2024, 2025 onwards, with more matches, will they stand the test of time? It looks very, very difficult. Forget the IPL. January to February also, that window has been dominated now by 3 leagues. One is the ILT20 that is held in the Emirates, that started this year from January to February. The SA20 from January to February. Now remember, South Africa and Australia, they will have to play their T20 leagues from December to February because that is the period where summer is there. They cannot play in any other season apart from that. So January to February is when the SA20 will happen. The Big Bash League from December to February. So from December onwards till June, you've already got your calendar packed. That's the Australasia leg if you look at it. Oceania will have its own thing, Africa will have its own thing, Asia will have its own league. ILT20, IPL, SA20 in South Africa and BBL in Australia. So you've got 3 leagues in that zone. But does it end? Because from August to September, you've got the CPL. That takes up 2 months of your time. But look at the Vitality Blast. The Vitality Blast is such that it can begin from May to July or also from June to September. Because remember, the England T20 scenario and white ball scenario has another addition called the 100. The 100 has an exclusive window in August. So the Vitality Blast T20 League and the 100 is played in the period from June to September. Now remember, June to September, you only essentially have only July, October, November, 3 months. In that you will include Test cricket, you will include all the major ICC events as well, because now all the ICC events are kind of been played from October to November. How are you going to fit in bilateral cricket at this point in time? This is where Ravi Shastri's comment, where he said, one of the faculties of the game will suffer. Teams will assemble, it will be like club cricket. Teams will assemble just before the World Cup. They will have to take permission from the clubs in order to come. And then they will have a camp and then they will play in the mega World Cup, whatever it might be, or a major ICC event. Every year there is an ICC event. So this is how cricket is going the football way. And look at the leagues yet again. IPL, March to June. January to February, you also have the ILT20, SA20 and BBL from December to February. And then you have the August to September window, which is CPL. You have the Vitality Blast from June to September. So essentially you look at it, hardly any windows for bilateral cricket. October might be the only best, October and November. July, because India doesn't play much, maybe July onwards, they will be free. So cricket is going the Premier League way when we look at football. It is going that way. Clubs are now much more important than country. The club versus country debate had a different dimension altogether in the early start of this decade. But now, with 2023, 3 years into the second half of this decade, we now will have to realize that bilateral crickets are meaningless. Now it is only leagues that are important. Fitness for the players and priorities for the players is now the league. And then after that, you are only going to play World Cups, major ICC events. So leagues and World Cups, this is how cricket's future, maybe in the next 5 to 7 years, that's how it's going to be. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.